are going live. Let's see. Doop. You go here. So you're gonna drop in points, you said.
Yeah, tonight I'll drop from fourth to probably sixth, and then all right, we're good. I hear me on the broadcast.
Alrighty. Just gonna get this URL into the Discord, and people can watch. Alright, we are live here from the Bristol Motor Speedway in the Hardy Cup Series. We are on dirt. We were supposed to be in Mexico, but we switched it up and we went dirt racing. And welcome to the booth this week once again, James Rev Jones. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. How you doing tonight, Justin?
Not too shabby. Looks like practice is finishing up. Excuse me. We are going to go green with what is going on with this. Give me 1 second. There we go. Is it group qualifying? It looks like.
Interesting.
And interesting. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Sorry, I know the taskbar is still up there, but we are good to go now. It does look like it's group qualifying, so this is rather interesting because we'll find out here momentarily if I was right. And we have zero track wear, so just wanted to make sure we are good to go. So, a little bit of switch up here in the Hardy Cup series, like I mentioned, at the dirt here at Bristol. And let me tell you, from putting in some laps before we went live, this track is gonna be a tough one for these drivers today.
You're gonna have a lot of slide jobs, a lot of hopefully give and take between
Yeah,
drivers here.
that's gonna be. Yeah, now you said it. I have no other words for that. Let's, there we go. And yeah, looking good in practice too. Believe it or not, Frank, even though he's not a dirt guy, he'll tell you that. I mean, he was pretty consistent. So look for to see what Frank can do. Who's your eyes on the today for your driver pick, James, for the small field we got out there?
After watching practice, I'm going, I think either the 52 or the 54. I think
Okay.
Frank's gonna have a breakout race tonight.
Yeah, I would have to say it's about time. Typically this point in the season when Frank starts to turn it on in the other leagues that I've been a part of with him. So it takes him a little bit to get used to people around him, and but he's like I said, it's reaching that time of the season when he starts to make a comeback. As we got a
That and it's 150 laps, so it's gonna be definitely a long battle.
yeah,
Patience.
as you already see in this group qualifying, which is a first for the Hardy Cup Series group qualifying. Um, you can see how slick this track is. The setup that they have here today is very similar to an actual like dirt setup. So um, it's not an iRacing setup. It's a custom setup here that allows these cars to get about 45 degrees, and if you want to try to hold it there between 35 and 45 degrees here. And throttle management as well as steering inputs are going to be key. Um, as I found out very hard. Um, Very early on in this practice session here, as we will give you an inside scoop. But give me 1 second here, and we will show you what this is. As you can see, Alex is bringing it in, and it looks like. Sorry, just so that they don't wait up on me, folks. We will show you how busy these drivers are really are here in this car. Inputs left, right, on and off the throttle. It's gonna be interesting, James, to see who can handle this track. Bristol. We've seen it in real life and here on the sim before. This is a track that changes very, very fast. That blue groove or slick groove is definitely gonna be something you can use to your advantage, but you don't want to set the car to burn up your right rear.
Exactly. And I know during practice, after so many laps, you actually had more smoke coming off the tires than the dirt cloud. So they're gonna have to worry about burning that right rear off for sure.
Yeah, as we're riding on board this gyro cam, you can see how much Alex is having to work and how the car is definitely not handling to what he wants. Is we're gonna go on with Frank and he'll give you a good onboard here. Yeah, you can see that car just pushes. As you can see that slick groove starting to appear as he'll bring that car back around. As it looks like we're going to have Brantley taking the pole position in the group qualifying, followed by Dustin. Then we have Alex and then Frank Skimmerhorn. And Jeff did not run a qualifying lap, but he should be on the grid. A 5-car field today. So, unfortunate, a very small turnout here.
And I'll make a bet that every single one of these drivers jump the cushion in the corner at some point tonight and put the right rear into the wall.
Yep, I would have to agree with that statement. It's very easy to. Even like the asphalt variant of this track, the corner entry is very tight, even with the dirt. It's gonna push you up into the cushion, and it's not a very big cushion, James. Surprisingly, for zero, track condition and tire wear here. So kind of insane to see how high that cushion really is. As we see the
See who
40,
actually runs the high side and who runs the low side tonight too.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what these 5 drivers can do here. Very small field, unfortunately, but good news for everybody. James will be back behind the wheel of that beautiful race car next week, and he'll be joining us for the remainder of the season. So, that's got to be exciting for you, and I know you're anxious to get back behind the wheel.
Yeah, especially with the next two tracks, Chicagoland and Charlotte coming up on the schedule. Both of those tracks I'm really strong at, so hopefully we can jump back up in the points mix with everybody else.
Exactly, we're excited to see you back on track, and it's been fun the past couple weeks. And in the booth, I know last week. My apologies going out to everybody that you couldn't hear James, but we got that audio all figured out. Problems when you have, Sorry, folks. Got a little distracted because
Ah,
Brent
dang it, Bobby.
Brantley's car
I'm
was
gonna
sliding
kick your ass.
without the tire spinning. Sorry, it kind of threw me off a little bit. ADHD brain. Um, but we got that figured out, and I'm sorry we couldn't hear James last week, but we should be able to hear him clean and green to the finish line as we see Brantley bring out another nice paint scheme this week. As well as Hardee bringing out that beautiful chromed out 17 car, and as Alex brings out that iconic red 72 car this week, that's a beautiful paint scheme. Always love to see that one. And then we got Frank in a brand new car this week. That is a cool design, very sleek, elegant, with fire stick on the door panel. One of the nicknames that he got from this league, so pretty entertaining to see as we got the old man out there back in the field there in the 49 of Herrick in that rather interesting looking not a not a Toyota this week. It's a Dodge this week. Did you see that, James? It's a Dodge on the rear end of that car. So
I
interesting
did
paint for
not.
that. Yeah, he's got got a Dodge rear end on that car. So Pretty
he's
cool to
not
see
racing
Frank back.
his special paint for tonight either.
No.
He had he had a brand new car that actually had life alert on the
Oh.
hood to race tonight.
That is one of the nicknames from him, and unfortunately, thoughts and prayers go out to Jeff, dealing with a shoulder injury. So he's gonna try to, do the best that he can. As we see Brantley once again with that early jump, like he's done time and time again here. As you see how sideways he can get that car, pretty impressive to watch that young man as he's opened up a significant lead here. Now this battle for second as we see the 72 of Alex trying to go underneath the 17, trying to get that low lane, just doesn't have the traction. And, unlike the real life, as we see Alex gets a little out of shape, has to correct it, didn't lose much track position. But unlike real life, these tires do not have dirt tires. These are slick tires these drivers are running on. So you really got to maintain your throttle management. So you see Frank bringing up the rear of the fourth position. Yeah, we're gonna see Jeff struggle with, like I said, being down on one shoulder. But the fact he's still out here and pushing on is kudos to him, and we'll see what he can do here.
Jeff's basically racing for points tonight.
Hey, nothing
Keep
wrong
him in
with
the
that.
top three.
The fact that that man has struggled the past weeks and he's still in the top three is very impressive and goes to show you what caliber of a driver he actually is. I was listening Brantley get way out of shape. That's uncharacteristic for him to get that out of shape. But he saves it as he's got a second and a half lead on your second place qualifier of Dustin. This battle for second is going to be the one to watch. These two have been the heavy hitters this season, and you can attest to this, James, that when these two get out there, door panels are going to be hit. These guys race very
Yes.
hard.
And Brantley was talking smack during the week too, saying that Hardy was gonna see his back bumper all night, and that's what it's looking like right now.
It's early on. Let's not be real. We saw this last week where Brantley got out to a massive lead last week, and the field, came back and caught him as the last one on. So we might see that again this week. We don't know. Dirt is always one of those things that you never really can count anybody out, especially as the track changes. As we went to complete nighttime here at Bristol, as we got a caution flag for who I can only guess would be for the 49, it looks like. Yep, the 49 spins her out. See what
And
happens to Herrick.
I wanna correct myself too. I said
Ooh,
Jeff was third in points. Jeff is actually second in points right now, behind Alex.
second in points behind Alex. Wow. That's for the past month that he's had, that's actually very, very good for him. As you saw in that replay, he just sent it a little too hard down into one and two, and looped it around, and lost the grip. We're gonna see
Trying
that.
to work that low side.
We're gonna see that. The apron, quote unquote, here is a very rough transition. The banking is just not there. Um, as you might have noticed if you've watched this place in real life, that the banking is not as steep with the dirt as it is in real life. So the drivers don't have all that much banking to rely on. So it's going to be interesting as the night goes on to see who can do it, who can battle that out. As Frank tags the wall a little bit, gives the fans a little bit of a salute. As we are under our first caution flag of the day. Good racing thus far, though. Excuse me. As we want to say a huge shout out under caution to our friends over at iRacing for making all of this possible. And our friends over at Hardee Cup Designs and Setup Shop. They make all the setups come true that you see every week at your local track. Get one today. and our good friends over at Outcast Motorsports. Huge shout out to the Outcasts for making this possible as well. And once again, huge shout out to Wilkes Productions. Every week we bring you this, so it's always fun to have a different person in the booth with me. And thank you for tuning in. And last but not least, HMS Sam Hardy. If you need any of your propane and gas accessories, give her a call or email. As we get set to go green, similar restart as Brantley's going to take the inside. Dustin was going to get that outside, going to try to make it work. As we are 13 laps, into this 150 lapper here. Green is back in the air. Once again, Brantley gets a good jump. That kid is a restart monster, James. I don't know how he does it, but every restart is impressive to say the least.
Yeah, Brantley's really good on restarts. Brantley's really good at saving tires too, so he can jump out and kind of just coast for the most part on a lot of different tracks, which is crazy.
Yeah, he's one talented young man, and we know when he gets his first victory, it's gonna be a fun interview in victory lane. So, uh, pretty cool to see him out here every week and kind of showing these guys what's what. He came in and has lived up to the hype. So, very impressive to see what that young man can do. As right now he's taking it to the old man of that Hardy Designs Chevy Camaro.
I think Frank's struggling until it slicks off. I think once the track slicks off, I think Frank will actually start being a contender. He seemed like he liked the slickness a lot more.
Yeah, he definitely, talking to him before we got in here, he definitely likes the track a little slicker. As we got a now 3 car race for this race lead. Brantley has not gotten us far out. He's searching for grip. As it looks like Hardy's got that low line running through 1 and 2, but struggling 3 and 4. Kind of interesting to watch how you can definitely tell what side of the track. As we see Eric gets up in front of our race leaders, stays out of the way. Good heads up driving for him. That could have spelled disaster for a lot of drivers. As we now see Brantley making it over a second lead now. Kind of interesting to see what end the cars drive better on. Brantley definitely has a better 3 and 4 than Dustin's 1 and 2. So I guess it's just, where do you make your move in the world of dirt?
Exactly. And Brantley, it's a long race. Brantley might be toying with them a little bit right now, letting them catch up and then take off again. It's hard to say what he's actually doing.
Ooh, as Alex shifts her in deep, almost gets into the rear of the 17, saves it, but drops back and loses a bunch of track position. That's going to be one of those Chase Briscoe moments, if you're, as he slams the wall, he's pushing that 72 car to the max, and I would not be surprised if it came down to these 4 drivers battling on the lap 150. If we saw what happened to Chase Briscoe, what was that 2022, where he sent it off deep and spun it out, and Kyle Busch came around and stole the victory. We could see that again today here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. So keep that in mind as we see Hardy within a half second now. He's got that cushion. He's riding it. Looks like he's found something in that 17 car as he's pulled away from Alex right now as he's chasing down our race leader. As you can see, both of them are putting the tires into that cushion, into that wet, grippy, darker colored dirt is where you want to be. You want to keep that right side tire glued into what we call the cushion here on dirt. And that's where you just want the car to sit and ride as Hardy has found something, but don't look now. Alex has found it and he's riding the cushion. So everybody's kind of moved up there to this high lane. As we see Hardy way over the cushion. Rim riding here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
And as the laps count down, the more laps we get on the track, that cushion's going to keep rising and rising up to where close to 150, they're going to be right up against that wall.
Yep, you're gonna see them dragging. Good point. You're gonna see that right side quarter panel dragging on that fence. And these composite bodies, you can do that with. The old cars, you would completely destroy the car. So you definitely can do that more with these new next gen cars than you could our previous gen. And as we see, the top three have definitely figured out, hey, this car works good. As we see Hardy jump the cushion, that will give Alex the second spot. And that's what I was saying is that cushion can be your friend, but also when you jump it, it's gonna just suck you into that wall and keep you there. And there's nothing you really can do, unfortunately, at that point, just besides hang on and hope not to collect anybody else. As we're going to see what Alex can, is we're going to take a look at what Frank Skimmerhorn is doing here. As the track's going to start slicking up here, you can already see this slick groove happening. And this is what the time of the race where I think Frank's going to start turning it on, and he's going to start closing down that massive gap to our third place car.
He's about 5.5, 6 seconds back. He should start. I think he'll actually start cutting into that lead here pretty soon.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be a good racetrack for him once it becomes slicker. As we see, that high lanes start to push that dirt a little bit higher. As you were saying, you're going to see that cushion go higher and higher, and you'll eventually see if we had more cars on track, but which we don't. Um, at one point, you will see that wall completely covered in dirt, and almost it looks like these guys are riding the catch fence almost because that's how massive of a cushion it is here at Bristol. Um, Kind of sad to see this track go in real life, to be honest with you. I thought it produced some good racing. But it's one of those things where maybe you know 10, 15 years down the road, somebody's gonna say, "Hey, let's bring back dirt at Bristol," or better yet, let's just put the Cup Series cars on Eldora. Why not?
That would be fun to watch, but I don't think the Cup cars. I don't think NASCAR will ever go back to Eldora.
Which is so sad because I don't know about you, James, but I used to love watching the trucks go to Eldora and the Eldora Dream. That was an
Oh
amazing
yes.
couple weeks during the summer that we got to see these drivers um, go into dirt late models, and drive those for the Dream. So it'd
Oh
be
yeah, that was the best time when you had Jeff Gordon running a DuPont Rainbow Warrior late model and
yeah,
Clint Boyer with a Jack Daniels late model. That was fun to watch the dreams.
yeah, it really was, and that is what NASCAR was. That is the roots of NASCAR is dirt. A lot of those moonshiners, man, they were great dirt track racers, and I would love to see, the Cup Series do something like that again. It'd be really cool, but the way the sport's going is looks like we're gonna have more and more road course and street circuits popping up. Which I don't know about you, James. I'm not really a fan of all these like one-off, racetracks appearing. Um, that's not what
They
NASCAR's about.
need they need to go back to the way they had it. Keep Homestead as your championship race. Go back to Daytona for 4th of July weekend and keep two road courses, Sonoma and Watkins Glen.
I'm I hate to say it, but I am very much with you at that point. Um, as we see them gonna have to work around Jeff as he's in the wall once again, unfortunately not having the race that he wanted. As we see Alex hang that Mustang's rear end out. Um, yeah,
I've
good.
noticed Alex has lowered his entry and his exit. The middle part he gets up there by the cushion, but the exit and the entry he's low.
Yeah, he's definitely diamonding this track, which a lot of the times you'll see in the dirt late models. They do the same thing where they'll enter low and then let it drift up. It's kind of the natural. Oh, as we see Alex disappear for a moment, but he's right on the tail. As I was saying though, that's what a lot of the late models and even the sprint car drivers do. You'll see them do that. They'll enter low and allow the car to naturally drift up. and not use the steering wheel as much and allow the actual gas pedal to turn the car. Um, so that's a pretty impressive thing that he's being able to take over. And we said it time and time again, especially last week, and as we see this battle for second still raging on with these two, as Alex is trying to make that inside work, he just doesn't have the drive off. You said it last week that Alex does not drive with any force feedback, so the fact that he has this much car control on the dirt is very impressive. So, good heads up driving for him as he's gonna get the side job and overcorrects it into the wall, and that's what we were talking about. Dirt's unpredictable. Um, little bit of damage on the right front of that car, but it's a dirt race. Aerodynamics really don't matter too much. So he'll go on and regroup as we saw the first of what is going to probably be many slide jobs between the front three. So kind of fun to watch these guys put on this show for us. As we're going to see if Dustin can track down this 52 of Brantley. Brantley's just kind of running his own race.
And I figured Frank would have started dialing it in, started, catching them, but it looks like they're still pulling away from Frank.
It does look like Frank
I
is
don't know if
kind of
his
struggling as we see Jeff Herrick back in the pits.
I
We're
don't
gonna,
know if Frank's having problems with the setup, not liking it once it went to night, or
yeah, it's I don't think it's as slick as Frank would like. He likes to when it has that insane blue groove or what looks like pavement, which is just where a bunch of rubber is, and he's kind of running the middle line, which I think is kind of hurting him a little bit as we see he kind of loses speed and momentum, and I think if he just adjust his lane about a lane and a half higher and allow that car to sit higher up, that right rear into that more of that marbled look to the track, I think he'd be better. But he's in the car and we're not, so we can only speculate from here. Is good to see though. Good to see Frank having this type of day. He's not gonna be upset with this at all. As this point in the season, he's really not had the best of luck, I guess you would say. But always a pleasure to see Frank out here competing. One of the uh, most favorite guys we have all raced against. Always as a jokester and always fun. Don't you agree that whenever Frank's in a lobby, it's going to be entertaining.
yes, exactly. And Frank actually, he's had some bad luck the past couple of weeks, but he's still up there in the points championship battle. He's running fifth right now for the points, so he's still up there with us.
Yeah, absolutely. He's improved so much, and I've had the privilege of racing with Frank in whew, a few different leagues myself, and the progression that he's not very young anymore, but I'll still say young man because he's young at heart. He is definitely full of fire and determination, and like a lot of us, he works a lot and he does a very good job at what he does as a firefighter. And huge shout out to them as the fire season is pretty much wrapped up, but yeah, it's always exciting to see Frank. As you see him start to adjust the line, he's starting to figure this track out there, James. He's starting to figure it out now.
And I want to say the fuel load in here, and within the next 5 to 10 laps, I think they're gonna have to start coming in for fuel.
Yeah, you
Think
burn.
around lap 60 to 65 is when they're gonna have to come in for fuel and tires.
Yeah, as we see Frank get really tight off the corner. Yeah, gonna let our leaders by to go a lap down. Finally, 60 laps in is when Frank goes a lap down, which I think honestly is the longest run that I've seen where he has actually stayed in front of the leader. So huge shout out to Frank for holding it down that long. As we're gonna see what Hardee can do to get around him. As we're gonna slowly starting, James, to see the blue groove take its effect, especially in the entry to turn three. You can kind of see the dark patch of the rubber starting to lay down. So this track is going to go through another huge change. as we've got a pretty sizable gap between first and second as there's second and third. We're going to see Alex loop it around. Can he stay off the inside walls? Yes. He's going to spin it out and get that car going. Unfortunate for him, he's going to lose a lot of track time.
Ooh, Alex just barely missed them water barrels.
Oh, yeah, it was close. Interesting. We're getting word that there will be a car. Ooh, as we see Alex heavily in the wall. Um, a caution. Maybe at the halfway point. You want to get word, James, if that's true, so we can relay that information?
Yeah, I'll jump over there. I'll be right back.
So as he's figuring that out, we have a caution out on track right now. As the pace car is back on track, as we're gonna see these cars all get four tires and fuel, I would assume. Um, so stay with us, folks, as you can see all the dirt on these cars starting to show as we see the right sides on all three of these cars go up. Now around to the left side as these crews are working hard to get their drivers out front. Brantley is down. Who's
Oh,
going to get the
dang it,
second off?
Bobby.
As it's going
I'm
to
gonna
be
kick your
Dustin.
ass.
How'd you
All
find out,
right,
James?
so this is the caution. Now that we're brought out, but I just got some interesting news. I'm gonna bring somebody in here real quick to talk to us, real quick.
Okay, who you got?
Maybe it'll let me move them. It won't let me move them.
All right, let's see what we're working with here, folks. All right,
Trying to bring Jeff in as he just got checked and cleared from the infield care center,
all right.
but it won't let me bring him over.
And I am not seeing Jeff in any of our voice chats.
He just left. He's in the waiting room.
All right, give me 1 second. We can get this pulled in here for you. No, it's
Or he
not. He's not.
was.
He's not in there. Well, folks, we were gonna have Jeffrey Herrick join us in the booth. Give us 1 minute, and we will try to get him back in the booth. As there he is. Give me 2 seconds, and we can get him in here. Jeff.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
Oh,
There you go.
Tony Stewart. Here we go. All right. Welcome to the booth. How's your shoulder feeling?
Oh, it's destroyed. My shoulder hurts like hell. I can't even drive it.
So you're gonna call it a night here at the Hardy Cup Series?
Yeah, this dirt back and forth is just too much on the shoulder since I tore my rotator cuff this morning. So yeah, I'm right.
Well, exciting to have you in as we see Brantley once again with the massive restarts. Um, so Jeff, you put a couple laps here on the track. Was it slicker than you would anticipate, or how did it feel out there?
My car was tight. It was tighter than what I would like to drive and stuff. I just could not get it to rotate at all, no matter how I put the brake bias or where I ran the car at. It just wanted to go straight to the fence.
Ugh. Yeah, I put in about 30 laps myself, and the track seemed to just change lap after lap. You just, no matter where you set the car, you just, had to keep adjusting your line, otherwise the car just was unhappy.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, if you can run the like Brantley's doing, he's running the top line and he's running it consistently, you're good to go. And then you got somebody like Alex and Dustin who are running mostly the middle or in parts of the track there. If you can hold that, you're doing pretty good to two grooves.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier before you jumped in here about, the transitioning this is going to happen in the cushion, as we see there, Dustin, kind of almost got bit by the cushion, jumping the cushion a little bit. This track definitely is going to change more, over the course of the next 100 laps. What are your thoughts, Jeff, going in here about how much this track's going to change?
It will change quite a bit. Not as much as it would if we had, double the cars tonight. But yeah, no, it's going to be up against the fence somewhat tonight, especially entering in middle of the turns. And if you can get your right rear just above the cushion, I think you'd be faster. And as long as you don't clip the cushion and bring the right front over, you'd be all right.
Yeah, I don't know where Alex got all that nose damage from. I did not see that, but it looks like he's hit something hard with that Mustang. Might have been on the restart, but that has some significant damage. And I know I said aero is not important here at the dirt track, but that much damage is definitely going to start, weighing that nose down a little bit more.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get hot, he'll be fine. I don't think that's going to bother him much. I mean, unless it gave him a ton of front end damage, but I don't. Doesn't look like any of the tires are bad.
Nah, it's kind of interesting that this seems about every time we get about the halfway point here in the Hardy Cup Series, the field just, for whatever reason, just spreads out so much. I don't know if that's a thing you noticed, but being in the booth, I've kind of noticed that every week that around the halfway point, the field is just kind of putting laps in. Is that safe to say?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's we got through the first third of the race and avoiding the chaoses and the learning of the track conditions, and then from about halfway on until probably the last 20 laps of the race, then it will get chaotic again, just because everybody's now confident and feel like they're superheroes in the car.
I couldn't have said it better myself. We called it, James. Once that rubber started to take in, Frank was definitely gonna, bring that fire that we've seen in him as we see the slick groove happening, and he's getting more and more comfortable as this track changes. As he's starting to close it in on the back of the 72 car. Uh, that's another guy we were talking about. I know Jeff, you know Frank really well, and I've raced with him, multiple times, and he himself will tell you he's not a good dirt racer, but he would look strong in that practice session earlier.
Yeah, I mean Frank's a one hell of a guy, and he's got he's got knowledge about the racing, and then it just takes him a little bit to get used to each different condition. But once he gets a hang of it, he's right there with everybody.
As soon as we started talking about him, the commentators curse. He started to fumble. Man, that really is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Maybe we'll talk about Brantley. I'm so impressed by this young man about what he's able to do um, behind the wheel of a virtual car. Um, just pure raw talent. Him and Alex, especially, those two have very similar driving styles. With those two, um, came in here guns a blazing and has lived up to the hype. So kind of fun to watch the different skill levels and experience come into play every week.
yeah, they're very very talented. Like right now, you know how I was saying the track. If you get the right rear over the cushion, you'll get gain speed and get faster. And Brantley sure found that after the in 1 and 2, and then he went right to the middle in 3 and 4, and that's exactly where I thought the track would end up being tonight for some good racing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's hanging that Chevrolet out. I would at this point I wouldn't even think that he's in a stock car the way he's hanging that out. He's got that thing right there trimmed out. Little bit of steering inputs, but not over correcting and allowing the car to do too many violent moves. So pretty cool to watch. As he's got a massive lead. I'm going to say this now. I don't think I've seen a lead this big in the Hardy Cup Series in quite some time. A 7-second lead is impressive as he glitches out a little bit. Um,
Yeah, he's a very talented driver, and I mean the Hardy Cup has been very competitive. I think we are at race 7, and we've had 6 different winners.
we are race. This
Oh,
is race 9 now, and
nine.
7 different winners and one repeat last week. So our
Yeah,
first repeat. So as
you're not going to find that anywhere else because there's usually leagues where cars are just dominant. You know.
yeah, Yeah, we know that all too well, don't we? There, with the league we were in prior.
Absolutely.
No, it's a huge shout out to this man on screen right here for making all this possible. I say it every week, but none of us would be here on Tuesday night if it wasn't for Dustin putting in the work and spending his hard-earned money to allow us to come out here and do this week in and week out. So huge shout out to him. I'm glad to call him a friend, just like Jeff. You're one of my friends. It's a good group of guys we have here, and James, as much as he's a pain in the rear sometimes, he's a cool guy. So,
No habla
Yes, he
inglés.
is. Yeah,
no,
no,
we
Jeff,
we've got a good group of guys here with us and in the team and in the league. So I look forward to it and moving on, and next year getting hopefully bigger.
it only goes
and
up from here.
Jeff, I know you're parked right now, but still a pretty good points night for you. You'll get fifth place points, so you should be, still in the top three in points after this race.
Yeah, I should. I'll lose second to Dustin tonight, which is fine. But there's more races coming, more tracks that will probably, hopefully, get into my driving style a little bit better, and I'll get them back.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard the news or not, but you got competition starting next week.
More the merrier. Bring them on.
I'm coming for you. I'm back home. I'll be out of the broadcast booth and racing with y'all
Oh, you're
starting next
used to.
week.
That's all right. You're used to looking at my rear bumper, so we're good.
I don't know
Oh,
about that one.
oh, I don't know. He's had your number quite a bit this season, there, James.
Only in this league. There's other ones.
Uh, hey, this is the only league that I, broadcast, so I kind of am a little bit biased here. No, it's always fun, and exciting to get to see. Like I said earlier in the broadcast when we first went on air, that it's going to be exciting to see James back on the racetrack. I know he's been looking forward to it, and like I said, a huge shout out, for the past couple weeks, him joining the fun and broadcasting with me. So it's a huge opportunity for all of us, involved to grow this. And if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, stay tuned for later announcements later on in the season with a possible huge announcement from Dustin, if I'm not mistaken, coming for next season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I hear in the rumors as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they are and how much fun the next year's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We haven't decided a schedule next. That's going to be a pretty interesting factor into the season 2 of the Hardy Cup series. We will be ending after the new year, so it's going to be interesting to see, late spring, early summer when season 2 decides to fire up and what the tracks layouts are going to look like, the cars and the drivers, and I will break the news for myself that more than likely, if everything goes according to plan, I might be joining y'all on the racetrack for season 2. So stay tuned.
Oh, snap, Jeff. You know what that means.
Another man, I have to look at my rear bumper. That's okay.
Stay away from him. Kamikaze's coming from the broadcast booth.
There we go. We got a nickname already for next season. I think that might have to go on my nameplate on the car. What you think?
That works for me.
Yeah, these guys
Yeah,
here
there's
are a good group of guys, and they're funny. Like Dustin did me a car, and he put Life Alert on the nose of it for me because I'm the old man of the bunch. So
that would have been
it is
perfect for you
funny.
to run tonight.
It would have had I remembered that he did it, but I didn't remember that he had done that car and put it in for me to race. It would have been perfect tonight, the way my shoulder and everything feels. I needed a Life Alert.
You get to see a little behind the scenes of what happens here in the Hardy Cup series. I always like to poke fun at each other, but it's all in good fun and good nature. You brought up a good point early on, James, about watching the practice about how much smoke was coming off the right rear. As we can see that off of Dustin here in 3 and 4. He's definitely gonna starting to burn that right rear up. As you can see it smoking. That is not dirt. That is pure smoke. That just goes to show you how much these tires are trying to get bite on this slick track. Jeff, I know you put in some laps in practice. Did you notice the same thing? That right rear was kind of struggling.
Yeah, I mean it in the Chevys they are. The Toyota just it felt more on the left rear than it did on the right rear, so that's why it was hard to steer. But just even watching the Toyotas and the Fords, you can really see them heavy on the right rear.
Interesting. Yeah, I did not. I did not notice. Actually, you know what? I did notice that because I did have the Toyota out for a little bit, and yeah, you're kind of right. It kind of didn't want to take like an initial set. It took a good, till the 3/8 mark of the corner to try to really get that car to rotate. As once again, we got a battle for second heating up between Hardee and Alex. These two have gone at each other all season long. I just, at time and time again, we come back and these two are battling it out. And right now, if they need to look in that rearview mirror because our leader is quickly closing in on this battle for second as these laps are ticking by here as we're at 104, 105 laps this time by as this race is ticking by as we see the leader right behind him. The leader is there as the leader of Brantley gets into the wall. So if these two don't watch out and figure this battle out, they're gonna be a lap down to our leader. And at this point, Jeff and James, what if you're these guys? What is going through your head as you see that young man put Alex a lap down? What is going through your mind now at this point? Under 50 to go. What is your strategy? Is it undercutting him and trying to get better tires, or what is your guys' opinion about this? As we see, ooh, Hardy gets pushed into the wall by Brantley.
Race them hard like Dustin just did. That's the only thing you can do is try as hard as you can to keep him back and maybe slow him down enough or get him frustrated enough where he makes a mistake. That's the only thing you're going to be able to do to keep him
That
back.
was that was a good save. As we're gonna see Brantley try to pull this slide job off of turn two, and he will do it. And hate to say it, but we have nobody on the lead lap anymore. Everybody is a lap down.
Yeah, and if you notice the difference in grooves, Brantley's, like I said, middle 3 and 4, doing exactly that where Dustin's right behind him. But 1 and 2, Brantley's the only one up top with that right rear above the cushion. And
Yeah.
then he makes a liar out of me and goes low that time. Hey, stop listening to the broadcast. You're supposed to be driving.
I think at this point he can listen to the broadcast, listen to music, do whatever because he's out for a Sunday drive.
No kidding.
I did not expect him to be this good on dirt, but man, he's shutting me up. He's good on asphalt, but I didn't think that he had a shot. With the amazing talent we got, and I know all too well what type of dirt track driver Dustin is, and he's pretty good. So the fact that that young man is teaching the old man something, as we see Dustin really hang it out on turn four, trying everything desperately to get around, as we talked about how slick
There's his
this.
right rear above that cushion right there.
Yes, he
That's
gets a
exactly where you
good,
get the run from.
good drive off of two. That's where he's got to keep it. As there he goes, as he's getting this, he's gonna spin it out. Oh,
Oh!
just oof, good avoidance by Alex, and unfortunately for Dustin, because he is the reason for the caution, he will not get that lap back. So that will go to our second place runner, the 72 of Alex will take our
Oh,
wave
no.
around.
I think Frank's going to get an additional one because Brantley's in pit road.
Oh, Brantley decided to pit.
So Alex and Dustin
Oh,
both should get a waiver round here,
so
and looks like both of them should go back on the lead lap.
interesting. But now because Brantley pitted as soon as pit road entered, nobody's going to have an opportunity to pit, if I'm not mistaken. So he took full advantage of this and got four fresh tires as we see Alex get the waiver round.
And so as well as
And
Dustin.
so does Dustin. So that just leaves Frank behind our Chevy Silverado pace truck. As you can
We'll get
really see the mud on these cars starting to take effect and how much this track is changing. Really good job from Frank, showing how dirty this track is, with a white car, and it's kind of crazy to see how much dirt and mud is actually on the front of the 52 car. As a race leader, that's a lot of dirt covering that nose. But the grill
Well, yeah,
looks fine.
yeah, that's one thing they all did. They covered up the nose. They protect the grill for some reason real good. I mean, even Brantley's front end is really dirty.
And he's a race leader, so that's just goes to show you how I want to say how loose this dirt is. It's not really that tacky, surprisingly. So, good job to Dustin how he set up this race with this track. Very reminiscent of I want to say the 2022 um, Bristol dirt race where it was very slick and the dirt was just all over the place. So good job for him and how he set it up. As you're gonna see a love tap from him. Now, Jeff and James, the question is, our race leader was able to pit while our wave around guys did not. What do you do if you're in this position as you know that our race leader has those four fresh tires? You hope he makes a mistake? Or what do you do? Because you know you're at a disadvantage at this point.
They're gonna
Uh,
have to pit no matter what for fuel at some point. They're getting close to that fuel window. Jeff, what was the estimated fuel window?
about 60 laps. So if they haven't pitted in right now, they're definitely going to need it. I think Alex did pit because he just now caught the back of the
Yeah,
field.
Alex
Alex
did
was
pit as we see a huge. Dustin looked like he was sleeping on that restart. Yeah, as you know, I think if you said 65, Dustin is going to have to pit.
Yeah, right there, right there. I think the caution flew around 61, lap
So yeah,
61.
so Dustin should theoretically have to pit. As we see Brantley really hanging out. I noticed that with Brantley on fresh tires. His car does not handle very well on those fresh tires. He struggles over rotating that car. As you see the amount of smoke and dirt coming off of the left rear, which is kind of crazy to say that the smoke's coming off the left rear. Now I kind of see what you were talking about, Jeff. Is that left rear just is getting punished? As we see Dustin going underneath. No, can't make the move.
yeah, and running the groove with the right rear
Ooh,
above the
Dustin's hard
cushion
into the wall. You called that one. He
will fry
bounced
the
off.
left rear, but dang. Yeah, Dustin just kind of gave himself, I think, damage in that right front. Oh, Alex just hit the infield
Oh
barrier.
no, that is almost a day ender right there. Let's take a look. He tries to get that and just overhooks and just whew, hard into those retaining wall. Whew. I, I know as a driver who has force feedback, when that happens, it hurts. As you see that left front tire locked up on the 72 car. Ah, that's gonna be hard to fix. And Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. They should have a fast repair this week, right?
They should have at least one, but I don't know if he had to use it earlier. He was talking that he had some major wheel damage at one point, so I don't know if he
Uh,
has used it up or not.
I don't think
I
as
say he
much.
just rides it. I just say he rides it around and Scott Bloomquist it. Three wheel it. You're on dirt, baby.
That is, yes, I remember that race, and it does not look like he has a fast repair, so it looks like he's going to be. I don't want to say it, but it looks like a day ender, unfortunately, with that contact, with not having a fast repair. An unfortunate turn of events for that young man.
Yeah, that will move him down to fourth place, so I won't lose too many points to him. But that's going to be a big points day for Dustin.
Yeah, yes, it is. And you know that man's going to be happy. And
It'll be a big points day for Frank too, because Frank should be able to catch him on laps.
yep, as we ride around
Yeah,
our caution, this should, Zusi Dustin's like, yep, I'm going to pits. He's going to get some fresh tires and fuel. And if I am not mistaken, these drivers all should be now good to go to the finish. 25 laps to go. Now we have two drivers going to battle this out. Now it's crunch time, guys. Who's your pick? You still sticking with the 52 car?
Still sticking with the 52 car. He's been strong all night. He's going to be on his older tires that actually seem to work better for him.
Yeah, it's
I don't
gonna
know. I
be.
think we're going to have a surprise. I think those two might tangle and we might get Frank moved up there. He's going to be only 4 laps down coming to this green. I think if they get together racing as hard as they've been, Frank could be opened up for to have the door open up for him.
So a Cinderella story. Is that what I'm hearing, Jeff? A Cinderella story?
Yeah, in a way, yes. I just think that if Dustin and Brantley get racing too hard with each other, that they might be able to take themselves out, and that opens the door for Frank. It's dirt. One little mistake on dirt. You got one in the garage and the other one on his lid. Where asphalt, you can make a mistake and get away with it once or twice. Dirt will bite you more than anything.
Yeah, as you know, Frank's just gonna let these two race for it here. Is good restart for Hardee. Holy cow, folks! I'm gonna say this right now. That was the best restart I have ever seen from Hardee in this series thus far. He did not allow our race leader to get very far in front as he's on his back bumper. He's gonna wash up and spin it out, and Frank barely misses that. Oof.
So that should give Frank another lap back. He'll only be 4 down now. So
Yeah, he'll be taking over that third position as you see it on the live timing and scoring. As we're gonna hit with under 30 to go under 20 to go when we get the green flag. No, Dustin does not look too happy with that 52 car. Another love tap.
Yeah, he was doing
Mm.
that right before the last restart, too.
I don't know if there's some feelings going on behind the wheel of the 17 car or not, but I know Hardy too well, and typically he does that when he's frustrated. So we could see tensions. Ooh! Uncharacteristic for him.
Alex is down in the waiting room, dude. I wonder if you guys want to bring him in.
Yeah, we can bring Alex in too. Why not? Let's have a soiree. Yes, folks, I use that word. Alright, let's pull Alex into the waiting room here. And welcome our fourth member of the broadcast this week is the driver of the 72 car, unfortunately out after hard contact to the pit road barriers. Alex, I know that's not the way you wanted to end it, but talk to me about how the race was going to that point.
Before that caution, that ended the long run, I was actually on fuel, so I was excited because I know very well I'm not good on dirt, but I know I'm decent on strategy and other things like that. So I think I could have maybe stolen one or done something better, but that caution came out right in front of me, and then I was fine securing second, but I just lost it. Um, I don't like dirt very much. Glad this is the only one this season. I'm tired.
Yeah, no, I mean you had a pretty good run going. You definitely were figuring it out, definitely figuring out where that cushion was and the limit of the grip, but it just looked like these cars were awfully tight on these restarts. Is that the case? Or did you just want to rotate?
Um, I'm not sure what I wanted to do. Um, it did just about everything I didn't want it to. So it rotated too much, it rotated too little. I didn't really know. I was more just out there for survival.
As we're gonna get the green flag as the 52 gets one of his phenomenal restarts again. Unfortunately, Dustin could not stay glued to that back bumper like we saw on that restart prior. Now the question is, as we have under 20 to go, 18 this time by, if you are the 17 and it's just between you and that 52 car, what goes through your mind, Alex? I know you've been in the situation where you're in that second spot and you're trying to track down the leader. What goes through your mind behind the wheel this close to the finish?
Honestly, I believe it's a lot harder or it's a lot easier to be the person chasing than the person being chased because if you make a mistake, then it's it's just fine because you didn't lose too much, at least in this situation. But if you're that person in front, it's hard to run away. I know Brantley's been dominant tonight, but I know Dustin knows what he's doing on dirt, so it's definitely not over.
That is the case, and we every week here in the Hardy Cup Series, it's the same time. Just because a driver has been dominant doesn't mean they're gonna win. Um, and we've seen it every week that just because you might have the best car, it depends, on a lot of times fuel strategy and pit strategy. As we see Dustin jump that cushion, as Jeff alluded to time and time again early on, that these cars are definitely not happy unless they're right on that cushion. So, a 7/10 of a gap, not unbearable to come from, especially on dirt. Unlike asphalt dirt, you can lose a lot of time or gain a lot of time depending on where you put that car. And I know, Alex, you were trying to get that bottom lane to work for quite some time. It just never wanted to come in, did it?
No, not really. I think part of it was I wanted to run a shorter distance to help save fuel because I was about four to the good by the time the caution came out. I didn't know where the other guys were at. It was just kind of a gamble. I know I wasn't fast, but yeah, that bottom line, after about 30 laps or so, it just went away.
Interesting. Yeah, these definitely this track has definitely changed quite a bit as you can see. Oof, Hardy is just bouncing that car off the wall, just trying to search for grip, and that's one of the things as I've gotten more into my dirt career here on iRacing is definitely something that as a second place driver you try not to follow in the first place car's tire tracks, but when you have a groove like this that is such a high lane predominant, there's really nothing you can do. As we're going to see Hardy loop it once again, and I do not know if that's going to bring out a caution flag as he's going to try to right it around. As it looks like we're going to stay green.
The caution's out.
Oh, the caution is out. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, the spotter is talking in my ear, so I was very distracted.
Yeah, he waited until he went back around to call it.
Okay, so he called that. All right. Now, gentlemen in the booth watching this, we're going to get this restart with 5 laps to go. Thoughts from all you gentlemen about what we are about ready to see?
I think Hardy's gonna push the window. He's gonna push hard.
Oh, psych out on pit road. Ho ho. Interesting, guys.
I think honestly, I would have taken tires here. There was a noticeable difference in the amount of grip you had. I think if Hardy wants to get past, he's gonna have to drive the low side at some point. So I think any grip he can get helps him.
Interesting, guys. Now the strategy. Shall we say is about to get interesting.
I don't think it's over for Frank. He's only 3 laps down now with little laps to go.
He
But
is
those two tangle.
dos lapos for Frank as he got the wave around.
He just needs Hardy to spin it out 2 more times.
Now,
Yeah, but he could take Brantley with him.
Should we convince Dustin to just wave Frank by twice so we have 3 cars fighting it out?
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Can I talk in the race chat?
It will be broadcast if you'd want to. I do not care.
Okay. Hey Dustin, we were talking in the booth. Would you want to let Frank get 2 wave arounds so that you guys have 3 cars in the lead lap? I don't know if he heard me.
Oh, he heard you.
He's too worried about hitting Brantley's bumper.
Yeah, that's true. He was doing that earlier in the VC.
Yeah. Not gonna happen as the lights will go off on the Chevy Silverado pace truck. As we're gonna have this one to go as now Frank gets in on the beat it and bang it. He's like, hey, don't count me out, boys. I know I'm here, but I think Frank is
It
hoping
might
these two
come
take it
down.
out.
It might come
It
down to
might.
exactly what Jeff said.
It very well might, because these two are just beating the brakes off of each other's car. As we see Dustin, wow, Frank is really giving the back bumper to the 17 car. Frank might cause all three of them to go around at this rate. This is interesting, folks. Green is out as we see
Dustin's
Dustin.
asleep
Whoa,
again.
oh Brantley. Whoa, what happened to Brantley? He dropped back. Did he miss a shift? Brantley looked like he may have missed a shift. As Dustin is gone. A second and a half. Okay,
Wow.
gentlemen. I have no words for what just happened. As we see Brantley doing everything he can, and yeah, I can tell you this right now, folks. If you're still watching, and if you are, thanks for tuning in. If and when Brantley can get to the back burner of that 17, there will be contact. I can guarantee you that much.
He's really pushing it around that top side. I'm just watching his POV right now. He is hauling it. But Dustin's doing the same with those new tires. I don't know if Brantley's going to be able to even catch him.
Under a second with 3 to go. This is the time when if I was at 17, I would not even look in my rear view mirror. I would look out my windshield and ignore
Race your race.
that car coming behind you, because like I said, if he can catch him as we got 2 laps to go this time by, there will be contact, but it
He's
might
going to
be
be there.
it might be a little too late, as that wall contact may have given him, Dustin Hardee, the breathing room he wants, as we're going to see the white flag this time by from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Can Dustin do another half mile? As we
Brantley
see
just knocked
Brantley
3/10 off of that
close. Don't look
lap.
now, but Brantley is there. He is going to make this interesting. As we see the slide job lower. Oh, told you there would be contact as Brantley gets the checkered flag.
Look at the difference. Oh, wait, it just updated. It was at .00.
Oh. Well, let's watch that again here, folks, because I'll tell you right now, I told you there would be contact. As we're going to ride on with this, we're going to watch the 52 as he sends it in deep, straightens it out. Yeah, and then he goes on to victory.
Dustin did come off the top trying to do that, cut him off, and Brantley was already there.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
he
that
got a
was-
little too sideways. But I will say this, if you look at the wheels of that 52 car, he literally lets that car drift up. It would have been interesting to see if there wouldn't have been contact, but that's going to be interesting to hear what Dustin has to say. And correct me if I'm wrong, is this Frank's first podium?
I think
It
it is.
is.
So,
Interesting, as we're going to see the 52 celebrate, and this is Brantley's first win here in the Hardee Cup Series too. So 2 first-time wins. I know it's
No,
a fast.
he won Dover.
Oh wait, he did win Dover. You are right. Thank you, Alex. I forgot about that.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring Frank down here.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Brantley just having fun, running the Polish victory lap that was made famous by Alan Kowicki. We're going to bring Frank into here, the booth, so stick with us, folks. Let's see. Oh, they're in the cup hangout. Give me 1 second here. Why did that not work?
I don't know. I can't bring anybody down either, so it's kind of
Give me
weird.
1 second here. Frank Skimmerhorn, it's your boys up in the booth. Sir, congratulations on your.
Oh, dang it, Bobby. I'm going to
Congrat.
kick your ass.
Every time, James. Yeah. Frank, you have finished on the podium for the first time this season?
Yes.
Well,
First time ever.
ever. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Congratulations on that. I know you say it all the time, you're not a dirt guy, but for a non dirt guy, you brought it home and you kept it clean.
More dirt than I am blacktop, that's for sure.
Well, awesome to see you finally, get to where you deserve to be, and you know, amazing to see you on that third place spot. So, talk to us. How'd your race go?
Not as good as I was expecting it. Car was very free compared to practice, so it didn't go the way I wanted it to. But a third place finish, you can't do anything better than that but win. So
Hey, you can't complain. Shoot, you
And
know.
that explains why whenever it slicked off, we actually, when it slicked off, Frank, we thought you were gonna actually give them a run for the money, but that would explain it if you were free at the start of the race. Once it slicked off, it probably made it 10 times worse to hold on to.
yeah, I couldn't run the top at all. It just drove me into the wall, so I couldn't do anything down there. So I actually switched gears and went into fourth and could run the bottom line and get a little bit of speed, but overall not too bad.
Well,
The penalty cost me laps down, and that's where I screwed up.
hey, you know what? You fought hard. I know it was a small field, but you kept your nose clean. So, congratulations on that. And I want to say, what an amazing paint scheme. That I like it. Bring it back.
I will for sure. We're going to modify it some more, but it'll be back.
Awesome. And that is our third place finisher, Frank the Skimmerhorn, the old man of the group. Awesome to have him back in the top three, and look for to see what you can do the rest of the season, Frank, because I gave you quite a bit of shout out that this is a point in the season when you start turning things up. So is that something that we can see from you soon?
Hopefully we can get a little better. Road courses are no good, so we'll see if we can crank it up a little bit.
All right. Well, we will bring the other two top two finishers in here. Frank, we're going to send you on your way. I know you are a very busy man. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, Frank.
Thank you.
Now we will bring in our second place finisher and see what he has to say. Jeff, we will let you take it away and ask Dustin these questions. Dustin, second place finish. Jeff has some questions.
Yeah, we all knew that that start by Brantley there and him closing in on you was going to cause some maybe some contact there. What did you feel when you got the lead from him? Did you think he'd be able to run you back down to make any contact, or was it a surprise that he got there as quick as he did?
Oh no, I would have won it if I didn't screw up. I hit the berm and it shot me down the track.
Ah, that's why you came down as far as you did. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing on his part or my part. It just screw up on my part.
Well, you had a decent day in points. I mean, the cars seemed to work out in your favors. Anything else you would have liked to have seen done here, or you would have done different?
Yeah, win it.
Uh,
Yeah,
well,
I think
you were
that's in
trying.
everybody's book.
Yeah, like I said, if I wouldn't have screwed up, I'd have probably won it. But it is what it is now. We'll go on to Chicagoland and try to whoop their butts there.
So I have one question because I know I saw you change up your groove a couple times in that race. What was the hardest part as the track transitioned as we saw that blue groove take effect more and more?
Yeah, just trying to find grip. I mean, it's dirt. It ain't like asphalt. You constantly having to move around and try to find grip.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. James, you got anything for our second place finisher?
Um, no, not really. Just points. Points just got updated. Jeff and
Yeah.
Dustin are still 2 and 3. Alex is still first. Frank jumping up with 2 spots up to fourth.
Oh
So,
wow! Don't count him out. Frank is in the top five.
and
Interesting.
Brantley moved up to ninth after tonight. So it'll be a good battle the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Well, I guess it's time now to talk to our winner. We will pull him in. Brantley, you are our winner on the dirt at Bristol.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought the sequential gearboxes are supposed to be good for upshifting or something.
Yeah, we saw that. Did you miss a shift or what happened on that last restart?
So I started in second to get a little more traction since I was on the older tires. Rears are a little more warm. Then I went to put in third, and I guess I hit neutral. But I sat there and saw on the front stretch, you could hear me rev bombing it because I'm thinking I'm in third, and I look down I'm like, oh crap, I'm in second. Or actually, I was in neutral. So I kept pulling until I got third, and then I was like, all right, I got 5 laps to catch Dustin. So I was just, the only spot you can really run and actually gain speed is run the top and right up against the wall in the berm. So I just ran up there, ran as hard as I could. I don't know if y'all are watching any of my steering inputs, but my wheel was a little all over the place. But I drove it off straight and ended up Dustin hit the berm in 3 and 4 wrong, and I was hitting it right, and he went around into me. And I guess we just hit in the right spot, and it sent him into the outside wall and kept me going straight.
Yeah, it was. We were saying that if you're gonna get there, there was gonna be contact. And we just didn't think it would be that type of contact. Um, no, as we saw in the booth, the track seemed to change quicker in the last like 50 laps than it did in the first 100 laps. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I feel like in the first about 100, really, it was really everybody was kind of running the top, so they were trying to work the top end, but I was really the only one running the bottom, moving all that dirt and stuff up top. Um, and then it really got slick about middle in the middle of the track, and that really kills it if you're running. You got to run the top, or you got to run the bottom, and if you're really good at running the top, that's where you got to run. It's faster, so yeah, that's where I was running and made it work.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would be your second victory of the season. So, I think that's just you and Alex are the only two drivers to have multiple wins this season. So it's been a pretty insane season, and since you joined, you definitely have put everybody on notice. So, congratulations to you and what you've been able to accomplish. And I know personally, I can say I look forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season. Couple intermediate tracks coming up, and you're very good on those style tracks. So, you got another win in the bank here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident about next week at Chicagoland. I haven't really looked at the rest of the schedule. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really excited for Chicagoland, Charlotte. Actually, the next about 4 races, and then Chicago Street Course can rot. Um, Indianapolis can go rot. Kansas is good. Kentucky's good. So there's about a couple tracks that can go rot, but other than that, no, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the schedule. I think it's gonna be really fun racing with these guys. It's gonna be really close, or it's gonna be either close or it's gonna be interesting seeing different lines and stuff that's gonna be ran. So it'll be a fun one.
Absolutely. Well, we will let you go and enjoy your victory. Congratulations once again from us here in the booth.
Yeah, if it wasn't for everybody on the car, OG Gear, One of Goons, Bradley Wilson Racing, um, just everybody for helping out EPI. They let me come on board as a short track team. So just everybody on the car really made it happen today, and see what we can do next week at Chicagoland. Hopefully, I can get another victory. Maybe not as dramatic as this one this week. This one little had my heart racing. So I will see what we can do next week at Chicagoland. See if we can battle with Alex and some of them other guys. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations from all of us. Take it easy and have a good night.
All right, you too.
Now, as we got Dustin in the booth, Alex, Dustin, James, you guys have any final words before we wrap up today from Bristol Motor Speedway?
I wish this was Mexico.
Of
Do
course
not.
of course, Alex, we know you're a road course racer.
I know.
But no, on a serious note, if y'all out here watching, y'all know anybody want to run in a good league, y'all come on. We have fun over here. Fair, respectful, but bring all your friends and go racing.
Absolutely. Jeff, are you still in here?
I am, and all ages are accepted. So come on and have fun. And
Even the
so,
life alert ones.
yeah, even the life alert ones. That's so true. You're such a pinhead.
And also the youngins like the 72 car who gets lost driving home. Even those blonde moments are welcome here in the Hardy Cup series. And before we wrap it up, I want to say a huge shout out to my wife for letting me do this every week. I wouldn't be able to do this without her, so huge shout out to her, and huge shout out to Dustin and everybody over at Outcast for making me feel welcome all these many months that I've been a part of it. So huge shout out to you guys. So thank you very much, and that'll do it from here at the dirt track at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tune in next week to see if we can have another first time winner, or will it be the battle of the two drivers that have 2 wins apiece? So stick to tune and tune in next week. Y'all have a good day. My name is Justin Wilkes on behalf of James Jones, Alex, and Jeff. Have a good night, and we'll see you later.